going on, man?
Hey, we did it.
We did it. You did it. How you
I
feeling?
feel, I feel accomplished already.
Good. You've already done it. You've gone live. It's official. We can just sign off now.
Yeah, I know. All I need to do is this. So this is my first Instagram live as Wylder or otherwise. So thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It took someone inviting me to get me to do it too. So like, maybe you'll realize it's not so scary, and you'll do it again, and it'll be awesome.
Yeah, everyone was doing these for months and months and months, and I figured I'd let them have at it.
Yeah. And then jump in once everyone's sick of them.
Yeah, exactly. That's my moment.
So how are you doing, man? You got a new song out today?
Yeah, I put out a new song today. It's Wylder, and it's called Kings of Summer. This was a tune that I had started a few years ago. Our writing process is extremely long. We'll sit on something for years and just, wait for that right moment. This quarantining just gave me the right amount of time to work it out and do all the arranging that was necessary.
Yeah, cool. So for people who are joining, and Will, for you, since you're kind of coming into this blind, so what we're going to do is we're gonna talk about music and songwriting. We're going to play a few songs each, and then we'll hang out for about an hour. And then if anyone has questions they want us to answer, put them in the comment section, and we'll get to those if we see them. But I got to tell you, I am like super excited. So this is the third time I've gone live, and I've got like a few more scheduled to do this. But I have like definitely been a Wylder fan for a couple of years. So this was
cool,
like,
man.
when I thought of like, who do I want to like, if I'm going to do this, like, who do I want to talk to? I'm just like, I want to talk to people that I think are super talented. So I'm glad that you agreed to do it, because my wife and I have been listening to Wylder for years, ever since the first album came out. So.
Oh, that's super cool. Where do you live?
I live in Ohio, so I'm like near Akron in Ohio.
Okay, cool. Where'd you find Wylder?
Spotify.
Okay.
You popped up. It was the living room. Popped up on Discover Weekly, and then I explored the rest of your stuff. I mean, I'm like one of the Discover Weekly people that just like every Discover Weekly I check. But it's very rare that like I actually like go and like dive deeper into an artist. But I loved Living Room, and I was just like,
that's so cool.
Man, this is killer. And then I went through and listened to the rest of your stuff, and now I could list you like 8 favorites from like both albums. So.
Well, I think it was Alex Rainbird that introduced me to your stuff. When you reached out, I was like, I've seen that name before.
Yeah.
So kudos to him. I think he actually just joined. So.
Oh yeah, Alex and Beth. I owe a lot of thanks to them for people listening to my music at all.
So do we.
Yeah. Such an iconic duo. Are you talking about us or you?
Yeah, he meant them. He meant the two of them. I don't know if you and I are an iconic duo yet, but it's getting there.
So why don't we start off? So how I usually do it is I'll let whoever's joining me play 3 songs, and I'll play 2. But if you want to just jump in, do you want to just start with a song?
Yeah, let's do it. I think I'll just go ahead and do Kings of Summer that came out today.
Perfect.
This speaks for itself. End of summer song. Here it is. Let the sun burn my eyes, wake my heart is open wide to you. It's open to you. May we all be the kings, the summer winds and burns a hole through me. 'Cause in my dreams, when we all fall away, shake the rain and cover up your face. Oh, I'm away inside my mind. Oh, 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 oh. big mountain west and central time. Oh, it's alright if we all fall right and ask if we recall those summer days we were away inside my mind. Oh, 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 inside my mind. Inside my mind. Inside my mind. Oh, 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 oh. Inside my mind. Ah, ah.
Yeah, man, that's an awesome song.
Thank you. In the works for a really long time. I only realized how many OOOs there are in there when you play it acoustically.
Well, see, that's actually one thing that I think we have in common is I do a lot of like non-lyrical melodies, like all the time. Too.
So where do lyrics come in for you? Is it something that you have lyrics that you want to fit into a song, or is it vice versa?
Sometimes both. So sometimes both. Sometimes I'll like something will spark something in my head. I usually don't like. I'm not someone who like writes like poems and then makes them into songs. But sometimes I'll get a line and I'll like it and it'll like spark an idea for a song and I'll write that down and then I'll like write a whole song around that idea. How about you?
Well, early on I internalized the ooh band thing because we had a former bandmate in Wylder who kept saying, we can't be an ooh band. I don't know what that means exactly. Maybe he just meant Lumineers-esque or something.
Yeah.
And so I really internalized that. I'm like, oh my God, we got to stop doing this. So the second album actually has very little of that, but you know what? There's nothing wrong with it. Sometimes the melody just fits better on that than anything else.
I've like caught myself too doing that exact same thing. And I've like, there's been several times where I've like changed oohs to words.
Yeah.
Because, like worried I do it too often.
Yeah.
Like I can make an ooh melody so much easier than like a lyric melody. To me, it's just so much easier.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah,
So
lyrics
sorry, go ahead.
very last for me. And that doesn't mean that they're not important. In fact, the fact that they come in last is actually, to me, I just agonize over them. And so even when we were working on Golden Age Thinking, and Rain and Laura to a lesser extent, I was writing lyrics the day we were recording songs, just because I wanted them to be just right, you know? And so, yeah, it's definitely the last part of the process for me.
I find that sometimes, especially when you're in the studio and you're singing it over and over again, sometimes like a lyric you had doesn't feel right anymore.
I know, yeah.
And you've got to like change it on the spot, which is, so I've done that and regretted it, and then done that and been really happy with it.
Yeah, I've been in both places as well. I'm trying to think of a good example of one of our tunes. I mean, this one had totally different lyrics when I started Kings of Summer, and I don't know, it was just about amending them a little bit. You know, it's just finding a few words in there that kind of connect the dots.
Yeah. So you mentioned in the beginning that this took like years to write. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I think our writing processes are very different.
Yeah. There are basically two kinds of songwriters, right? I'm definitely in the latter camp where I recorded this as a demo, and you know, it was just something that I had floating around for years, and it wasn't right for either of the albums. And then when we went to do this, we're going to do an EP surrounding this single. So we've got 4, maybe 5 songs, depending on what we decide to do. And this one just got resurrected. But But even then, after we recorded, we went in and I finally got a structure. Structure for me is what keeps me from finishing songs. Because I'll have like a really great chorus or that I think is great, or a verse, but like a bridge will elude me, or you know, an outro. We do a lot of like extended outros, and sometimes I just, when you're doing the kind of arranging that I hope to do, it can take forever. Because when you're trying to get all those puzzle pieces to fit together, you could end up with a puzzle that doesn't look like much at all. And you want it to actually look like a picture. So yeah, it just takes a long time. And this one was probably 6 months after the studio. I finally said, okay, I think I have the arrangement.
Okay. Yeah.
How about yourself?
So I write a song a week, like front to back, like done.
Good for you.
And well, they're not all good.
That's okay though.
Maybe none of them
it's
are.
okay if they're not good.
But so for me, I have to, because I used to do what your approach, which is like really like kind of agonizing over the arrangement and the lyrics, and I found that I just would never finish.
Yeah.
So like I had to like talk myself into like I can always go back, but like I'm just like setting myself like I'm done like editing it at this date, and then I'll start the next one. Because if I don't, like I'll write one song every 2 years, and it'll just go on forever, and none of them will ever be good enough. Because that's the hard part for me too. Is like for like you always want to like feel like you're writing better songs than the ones you've written before, and then like that's a really there's no measure for how good a song is, right? So you can't like there's no test to like say like, okay, this is done. How much better is it than all my other songs?
Sure.
So it's just like all in your head. And then of course you talk yourself out of it really fast. You're like, yeah, this is great. It's okay. It's not as good as I thought. I need to start over. So like,
yeah, I'm definitely there. And I know that it annoys the guys a lot because they're like, this is fine. You know, this is not going to get any better. But yeah, I it's a habit that I haven't broken yet.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard.
I can't even take my own advice either, because when I'm writing prose, you know, I'll sit and I'll write every day. I'll write through it. But with music, it has to be the right moment.
I completely get that. But it's like I like set a routine. So it's just like for me to stay sharp, it's just like every evening from like 8 to 9 is like that's writing time.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like terribly painful and awful, but I just like fight through it, and sometimes it's like really easy. But that's been working for me. But now the problem is I have like 70 songs. So
do you feel like they start sounding similar when you do that process?
I work. There are, yeah, of course there are like a couple, like I would say 2 or 3 like out of the set, like that there's pairs, I would say.
Yeah.
So, like pairs of songs that are like similar feel. But I like, so I also like write, I don't know how you write, if you write solely on guitar, I've seen like a video of you playing piano before, so I'm not sure if you play piano too.
Yeah, I do play piano, not especially well, but I love writing on piano, and it's probably half and half.
Yeah, me too. So I literally go from like guitar to piano to like back and forth, and that kind of like mixes it up enough.
Definitely.
And then I try to like stay out of the same like picking. My issue is I fall in the same picking style on guitar all the time.
Oh no, it happens to me too. Yeah. But this thing you're describing about 2 songs being similar, that's why we have so many 2-part songs that are like part 1 and part 2. So that's how I deal with it.
If you had to like pick a favorite song of yours, what would you pick?
You know, all my favorite songs are the ones that no one else likes. Maybe that's what everyone kind of deals with. I'd love to quiz a bunch of musicians about this and see. My favorite song is Lantern, probably.
Okay.
And then that's on Rain and Laura. It's our least streamed song on that album. And then on Golden Age Thinking, I mean, I love that album front to back, but I'm especially fond of Right to My Head and Fear. So those are probably my 3 favorite songs of ours. How about you?
Of yours?
Well, no, of yours. Do you feel this way? Does your favorite song align with your fans' favorite songs?
No, I don't think so. I feel like there's a lot of inconsistency over like what people like of mine. Like if I were to like, my favorite songs are definitely like the darker ones. Like
Yeah, me too.
sometimes the producer I work with has to talk me into like to do poppier songs and like that are a little lighter. But like my favorite ones, like I really like Phantom, and I Should Have Fought for You, and like some of mine that are a little darker.
Sure.
But yeah, so no, I completely. I think the hardest part is when you think that you've like written a great song, and then you're like so excited, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, it's pretty cool," and you're just like, you're like, "No, let me do it again."
Yeah, you maybe didn't hear it right.
So
Yeah, that certainly happened to me. It's happened to me in the band even. Do you play with a band in the studio or?
No, I like between myself and then my producer, we cover all the parts.
Nice.
So I had like a band all set up to like start playing out in March.
Oh, great! Yeah.
Like I was literally like on the phone with bookers in March, and then that is completely over. So I don't know when that's going to change, but so yeah, hopefully I had like a live band that we were going to start playing out, and hopefully we get to do that someday. But anyway, so let me play a song and then we'll talk some more. But so this is a song that I have. Well, actually, let's just like check in a little bit. So for people who are just joining, my name's Travis, and I release music under the name The Satellite Station. And joining me is McCarry, and he is the part of Wylder, and I'm a lead part of the songwriting, and he's the frontman and singer. And he's super talented, so if you haven't listened to Wylder before, do yourself a favor and go do that because they are phenomenal. And then you're also releasing some music under like a solo artist thing too.
Yeah, that was kind of, I'm going to be at home, so I'm going to just start really, I have I mean, you know, like you said, you have 70 songs. There's so many that I just didn't fit or weren't right or were rejected. So I was like, man, I'm going to get this stuff out there. So yeah. Please check out my solo stuff too if you're listening. Yeah,
so then, so like building on that, this song that I'm about to play, the song's called Come Home. So this is not the song that I just released today, which is called Need You Right Now. That, of course, is like a piano song that I don't feel like I can accomplish very well with just acoustic guitar. But this was the one that came out before that, and it's called Come Home. And it's one that, like, for sure people had to talk me into, which is, like, not a good endorsement as I'm about to play it. But it's one that I, like, finished, and I'm like, all right, it's done.
Cool.
And then my producer called me, because I always send him all my tracks, and he goes, like, what is going on? Where did this come from? And I'm like, what do you mean? It's, like, fine. And then other people, too, were like, I really like that one. I'm like, are you sure? And then we recorded it.
Are you sure?
I'm still like, man, I'm just not feeling this at all that much. But I mean, it sounds good, but I'm just, for some reason, it's not connecting with me. And then I'm like, release it, and like, I think everyone's got like songs they're really excited to get out into the world, and songs that they're just like, yeah, okay, cool. And then like the response has been great. So it's just more proof that I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But this song's called Come Home. Can we talk it through? I don't want to fight with you, 'cause I know you said that you just need some time. How did we get so low? I can't do this on my own, so tell me why you need to be alone. And I can't stand when I reach over to take your hand, and you shake it off and give a look so cold it gives me chills. I will hold my breath till you come home. I will hold my breath till you come home. Just come home. And I can't sleep at all. I'm staring at my phone, and no matter how check, you still haven't called. And I admit I'm not well, I'm losing track of myself, 'cause hours pass and I haven't moved at all. And I can't stand when I see you with another man, and you tell me that he is just a friend, but I don't know. I will hold my breath till you come home. I will hold my breath till you come home. Just come home. Tell me what it is you want me to do. Should we just pack our bags and head off somewhere new? Tell me what it is you want me to say, 'cause I can't believe that you would turn and walk away. And I will hold my breath till you come home. I will hold my breath till you come home. I will hold my breath till you come home. I will hold my breath till you come home. Just come home. That's
Very
that
nice.
one.
So that was that's the single before the latest.
Yeah.
Really nice. It's one of those songs that you just want to. I just wanted to turn around and start playing big chords on the piano. Really cool.
Oh. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's one I've never played. Like, I think the challenging thing that in my head of like thinking of like future versions of this session is like how many times. Like, I don't want to like play the same songs over and over again.
I know.
Play some stuff people know. Play some stuff that is like not unrecorded, and just what there might be duplicates. Just doing the best I can.
Yeah, we have always struggled with that. Not only live on, we used to go live on Facebook a lot back before in the before times, and honestly, we would always do it as full band, and the guys we haven't gotten it together to do it all together.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Instagram thing is, or even in a live show, I've always felt that way as well. You want to play these new tunes, and you're so excited to get them out there, but I don't know. I always want them to be ready, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I am like a person who does not like I can never go to a bar and say, make a request. Like I would literally I would like have a panic attack. Like I like need to like know every word and be super ready, or like I just freeze. So that's like so hard. I think somebody asked a question, how do you choose a single? Do you want to take that one and then I'll answer it?
Yeah, sure. That has been different on both albums. On the first album, our producer that we've been working with basically said, this is the single. And I said, no, it's not. And he said, yes, it is. And I said, okay, yes, it is.
Which song was it?
It was Sunstroke. And I will begrudgingly admit that he was right. I actually wanted it to be Living Room, which is funny because that's the one you said that grabbed your ear.
That's my favorite song on that album. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. It's you never know how it'll go. And with Golden Age Thinking, it was a no-brainer because Ready to Break just popped off as far as the most catchy song. And I hate to say it, but a lot of our slower jams never get picked as singles, which I think is something that with your music, you have a mix that, you know, you're able to highlight some of those tunes or those like mid-tempo jams. And I'm always scared of doing that as a single. So I might not be the best case study. How about yourself?
Well, so the good, like approach to like doing this is that I'm like every 6 weeks I'm like releasing a new single. So they're all singles.
That's true.
For me, the harder, and then I like package them after like I release like 11 or 12 of them into an album. And then, but the hardest part for me is picking songs. Like it is nightmarish every time.
Yeah.
So it's like we have
For
that
the
huge
album.
list, and then just like picking what's the next song we're going to record. What are the next songs we're going to do? And yeah, it is like there have been times where we've literally been like, I can't choose. Let's flip a coin, and we have flipped a coin. Actually, the song that just came out, "Need You Right Now," that was a coin flip decision. And I'm really happy with it because I really love that song, but yeah, we just like have so much trouble deciding because there's so many to pick from.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you on that. Do y'all play out much? Or do you?
I used to a lot, and then I kind of like took a break from music and wasn't really playing out, wasn't writing. I still picked up my guitar a little bit, but and then I think I started the satellite station in the beginning of 2019.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Good for
so
you.
just like yeah, in January, I started like writing again, and then like there's a whole story about like I like like almost like lost my voice and I couldn't sing, and it was bad, but then everything got sorted out, and then the first song was done in like March or April of 2019. And then it was like from there, it was like, how do I get this band together to start like doing this? Because I feel like I'm very self-conscious about playing my songs acoustically. One, I just always feel like it's so much more nerve-wracking to play acoustically than it is to play a full band. And then two, it's like my producer and I have like worked so hard on these big productions for this song.
Yeah.
And then it's like, man, like they think they're gonna hear this, and then they hear me play it acoustically, which is like hopefully still cool, but like not what they sign up for. So.
Yeah, that's one element to each song that I try to ask myself. Is this still interesting acoustically? And if it's not, I always feel like maybe it needs a little something at its core, some more robust lyrics or potentially something a little bit more challenging for the listener on the acoustic guitar or the piano. And so that's like one of the underlying principles behind each song for Wylder. And we're not always successful. I mean, there's certainly songs that I couldn't sit down and play front to back and have it be still interesting. Sometimes you just need those arrangement elements. But since it's my inclination to include them and to have these grandiose, like you're talking about, I mean, you want people to hear. I have this friend, LeVar, who was in Wylder for many years, and we write all kinds of string arrangements together, and I love doing it, and horns and everything. And you want to have that in the live setting as well, and of course it's never going to be that way. We're a 4-piece band, and I will say that when I play acoustically, just myself, solo shows, I do often look behind me and think, I feel pretty lonely up here, but I certainly can hear myself, and that's nice.
That's true. Yeah, you're not yelling all the words.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, wow, I can hear my voice.
So how does a song go from you to through the band and into like it's like a finished product?
It's been an evolving process. My process has always been to record at home. I feel most comfortable recording at home. I can mess up as many times as I want, especially on an instrument like the piano, which I fumble around until I find the part that I want. Sometimes I'll record a single piano part for 4 hours, 5 hours. I'd much rather do that at home than in a studio where the clock is ticking and money is being spent. Right. And honestly, like I just have a particular playing style that the guys can't replicate. Jackson and Lonnie are both guitar players too. And it's not better, it's just they have a different style. And I have this like very particular thing in my mind usually. And so what I'll usually do is I'll bring them a demo, and they'll either react to it or they won't. And there's no middle ground. and then we'll go and take it into a studio, and Mike, the drummer, and I, in particular, but all four of us, will really work through what the song is, right? And so we'll take that demo, and what's really nice about Wylder is that every single one of the guys brings something special to the table. You know, I'm the core songwriter. I'm writing 90% of the melodies and lyrics, but Lonnie has an ear for vibe. You know, he's a wonderful guitarist with great sonic ideas, you know, just for the sonic space of everything and how things are vibe-wise. And then Mike is a fantastic producer, fantastic drummer. He is always right in the pocket, and he has an idea too about what things need effects-wise. And then Jackson is like resident musicologist. Sometimes I'll just want to put in that dissonant note. I'll just say, I want a harmony here that is like, you know, some weird note. And he'll say, no, don't do that.
Well, you always
say, I want it so badly.
No. You need someone to be able to tell you no, too.
Exactly. And that's actually, I bet you have that relationship with your producer, it sounds like.
Yeah. Yep. So I was in bands for years, and like, I think the one thing that is like harder about doing it on your own is that like, so you're like, you're kind of your story about playing on stage and looking behind you and being like, I feel very alone up here. Now it's like, but you could hear your voice. Now I can hear like all my ideas come like to fruition without having to negotiate at all.
Yeah.
But it's also, I finish the song and I'm like, oh, cool. I can't wait to send it to my producer, which is cool, but then nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think there's something really special about the group dynamic, and there's something special about being on the road with the dudes too. It's sort of an experience that doing alone, I kind of can't imagine it. We have friends who do that, and have, even when we're doing really neat stuff. There are solo artists who played the Rock Boat with us 2 years ago, and I just think, you want to come on this cruise on your own? Like, yeah, that's no fun. No. So yeah, that's really cool to have them around, and to be able to rely on them.
Well, cool. Do you want to play another song?
Yeah, I was thinking I might do Living Room since you brought it up.
Yeah, I was going to ask if I could request it anyway. So.
Yeah.
No, I would say, so that's my favorite song off your first album, and I think your second album, I really like Ghosts.
Oh, cool. Thanks, man.
I mean, I like a lot, like most of them, so it's not just those two.
I appreciate it. All right, A Living Room Full of Ghosts. This one's Living Room. Cold fell away as I slept to the sun, tangled in you for the first time in months, sinking back down, 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 you're falling back into yourself, settling down with you means more than empty words we were. Oh, in a way it's alright. You pull me out from inside. You love me now. Oh, oh, oh. You got a home. Oh, oh, you moved away, found a glorious life, one with the strangers, kind of guy. You blurred my eyes, I can't say if I've been pushed until I'm gone. Now these days I feel fine with you in a glass by my side, I swallow you down. The sun came up above the city, I'm awake. My heart is in my chest. Yeah, the sun came up above the city, I'm awake. My heart's in my chest. The sun came up above the city, I'm awake. My heart is in my chest. Yeah, the sun came up above the city, I'm awake. My heart is in my chest. Yeah, the sun came up above the city, I'm awake. My heart is a little bit closer to the edge of the sun. Wake in my heart, baby, in my lungs. Gotta hold on. I had a call come in.
Oh, no worries.
At the end there.
You got, at least it happened right at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's such a great song.
Thank you.
So here's a story about that song too. So here's the cool thing about being a musician, and I wish we were able to know these stories more often than we do. But I put that song on a playlist for my wife when she was running a marathon, and I ran half of it with her, and then met her at the last mile and finished it with her. And right as we made the turn to run in, it was a big moment, and because she was finally doing it, that song came on. So it's cool. That song is always tied to that really great memory, and that's one of those things that you just don't know. There could be other stories that are out there, but now Living Room is going to be a song I know and remember forever because it's so tied to such a big moment. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. That's happened to me only a handful of times where someone shares a story like that, right? At a show or elsewhere, and it's always such a unique experience. So yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. So how much time do we have? We've got 20 minutes. I think there was a question too before you started playing that song around. What was the time frame to when you were writing Kings of Summer? This is going to sound crazy, but I wrote the initial demo in 2015, and then it sat around, and we did nothing with it until February of this year. And sometimes Mike will be the one going through demos, and this is the case with this one on some level, where he just said, dude, we got to do something with this. So I was like, yeah, all right, sounds good. So I guess a little earlier than that, maybe October, November of last year, we got together at his home studio, and we started just saying, what is the bridge to this? And I think we were unsuccessful that day, actually. I think we tried. I had this really complicated idea of this ascending thing that would be and it was that's not right for the song. And he kind of had to tell me that. And so I took it home to my home space here, and I found that ending, that outro, and that just made it click for us. So that was probably January of this year. And then from there, we tracked drums at a studio called Montrose in Richmond, Virginia. Great studio. If anyone is in Richmond looking to track with Adrian, he was a great engineer, really helpful, and really knew his stuff. So we tracked drums there, and Lonnie did a handful of guitar lines. Jackson laid down his bass, and then it's kind of back in my hands. And so I just did whatever came to mind, and I puzzled over it for 4 months, off and on. I've been releasing solo music too, and working on other songs, and I have to go back and forth. I can't just focus on one and just power through. I wish I could, but I would say it was 6 months ago that we really were let's go ahead and figure this one out. So who are some artists that you listen to a lot? Like, who are some of the main influences for you?
Well, for a long time, I would have said Radical Face, and I think I still would. He's my favorite overall artist that I look up to. I saw him. This is sort of like one of those stories you were talking about. When I first heard "Winter Is Coming," one of his tunes. I just was in this place where I felt stagnant in my songwriting. I was probably 18 or 19. And I just was like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know what my sound is, you know, and that feels so essential. And I heard that and I said, that's it. There's something to this that I want to emulate and make my own. And so I really tried to do that for a long time. And so for that, he'll forever be my favorite artist. But, you know, Sufjan Stevens, Vampire Weekend, The Killers, Arcade Fire. Trying to think. I know I'm missing a big one. Like older stuff. I mean, of course, I love the Beatles, REM. The Beach Boys are a big influence. What about yourself?
So I have to ask one question first because there's a band that I think you guys have a similar sound. Like not similar, but like vocally, you sound. I feel like your voice is similar to, which is Good Old War.
Oh yeah,
Good Old War
our
fan.
producer, the guy we work with on Golden Age Thinking, produced Good Old War.
Okay.
And so that's cool. I agree with that too. I haven't listened to them as much as I probably should have, considering he worked on them, but definitely.
Yeah, they're similar. So I think kind of the like the layered vocal sound is like consistent for both. But yeah, they're great. But yeah, I'm all over the board. Like I'm a huge fan of like Motown, like the Motown era and all of that, like Temptations and stuff, and Jackson 5. I'm a huge fan of Ray LaMontagne.
Oh yeah, so we had to play. We've always have to play those when we do weddings, which we usually do a few a year, and we always play Ray, and we can never get his name right when we're introducing it. So that was good to hear you actually. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love Ray LaMontagne. I love Gregory Alan Isaacoff.
Oh yeah, he's good. Yeah.
He's like, I don't even know how he does it. Like, there's something about his songs that are like alive more than other people's songs.
I love that description. You know, I was remiss to not mention a recent favorite, which is Henry Jameson.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, he is. We saw him at the guys and I went to see him at DC9 and in DC, and boy, he's something to look up to. I mean, his lyrics and his melody and everything. He's really great. You know, one of my favorite songs is Blood, the Middle East. That's probably my favorite song, and I don't even know if I know another one of their songs, but
yeah,
I just love it.
I'm trying to think of who else. You know what's hard is like I feel I'm a huge Ryan Adams fan, but I don't know if I'm allowed to admit that anymore because now he's.
I know.
But I like love you can't take away like the years I like listened to the Gold record because like that was so influential. Even though now he's like like the worst human.
It doesn't change that. I mean, people.
It doesn't change. Like it's still imprinted on me.
Yeah, people still listen to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I think we should probably stop playing him in grocery stores and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes you question the lyrics more.
Yeah, doesn't it? Oh my God. Well, you know what you need to do is just listen to Phoebe Bridgers instead.
Okay, yeah. And then same as you, I love Beach Boys. Pet Sounds is incredible. The Beatles are incredible. The Zombies are really good.
Oh yeah.
Who's more recent? I really like the Wombats. I don't know if you ever listened to the Wombats.
Yeah.
And then, gosh, lyrically, did you ever listen to The Format?
Yeah, I love The Format. And,
The Format is like their Dog Problems. Like that's probably like was in my like rotation more than anything else.
I love Dog Problems. So influential to me. It's one of those ones that like Radical Face Ghost. Yeah, I actually saw. So when I was a teenager, I went to see Jack's Mannequin more times than I could count. probably a dozen times I saw him at 930 Club and elsewhere. Always a lot of fun. He's such a good performer. But Fun opened for them, but they were barely a band. It was just Nate and a bunch of other dudes. Yeah, I don't even know if Jack was there. And,
he wasn't in it yet?
No, and I didn't recognize any of the songs. And then they played the first single, the format tune.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is the format. I hadn't known the whole time they were playing as Fun. I wish they had said it. And then the other time I saw Fun was, which I love Aim and Ignite. Lonnie, the guitarist in Wylder, was in charge of bringing music to our college campus, which is where we met at college. And he hired Fun the week before they had that Super Bowl commercial that blew up. And so it was like a pretty ill-attended concert. And the next, few months they were winning Grammys and stuff.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. So I love Dog. I thought their first format album was great. I thought Dog Problems was like a masterpiece. I thought Aim Night was good. It was very solid. Yeah. And I listened to their new album and I'm like, this is never gonna work. And then and then all of a sudden I'm like, where did this come from? How did this happen? I mean, it's not bad. It's just like, it wasn't. I can usually have a pretty good ear for when things are going to be like take off or not. And I'm like, I was totally wrong.
Yeah. Maybe I got it at the time, but I have not returned to it since then, I must say. The second album, Some Nights, I guess it's called.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's just, it didn't have that special thing that, like Dog Problems is, I agree. That's the hierarchy. That's the top.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like front to back. You don't, no skip. You just put it on and go. Counting Crows for me too was a big influence. Like August and Everything After, I could put that album on and just let it run. But anyway, let me play a song, and then you can play a song, and then we're gonna be almost out of time. This stuff goes so fast.
I know.
So this song is called Stay. This is a song I wrote probably about a month and a half ago. So this is like, I've never played anywhere.
Sweet.
Brand new. But I really, really like it. So maybe let's see if I'm right or if I'm wrong, because maybe people will be like, this was terrible, don't do that again.
I doubt that. Let's hear it.
Hold me close before I go. Aching chest, breathing slow. Broken house can make a hole. Splintered hearts, broken souls. Once I walk out that door, everything will change. I can feel the life I had start to rearrange. In a couple of years, will you remember my name? If we passed in the crowd, would you feel a thing? Well, I'm dying to ask, but I just can't say. 'Cause I need to leave, but I want to stay. Is this how we say goodbye? Moment still, silent eyes. I don't know what I can say. Fractured trust, led astray. Once I walk out that door, everything will change. I can feel the life I had start to rearrange. In a couple of years, will you remember my name? If we passed in the crowd, would you feel a thing? 'Cause I'm dying to ask, but I just can't say. 'Cause I need to leave, but I want to stay. Yeah, I need to leave, but I want to stay. Gave this all I had. What about everything that we planned? Gave this all I could. Did we last longer than we should? Once I walk out that door, everything'll change. I can feel the life I had start to rearrange. In a couple of years, would you remember my name? If we pass in a crowd, would you feel a thing? Well, I'm dying to ask, but I just can't say. 'Cause I need to leave, but I want to stay. Yeah, I need to leave, but I want to stay. So that's Stay.
Very nice. I'm thinking it's a keep for sure. Powerful chorus, man. Really good.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I decided to play 2 sad, slow songs today. Just to keep the energy up.
That's why it's good to have 3, right?
Yeah, that's right. Would you want to play one last song?
Yeah, I'm going to do a solo song I'm going to be putting out in the next few months here. This is called The Harbor. You were born to these New England summers, in the calm of the silence, from the dark of the harbor, bathed in the warmth, crawling under the covers, a third story gaze of the evening of summer. I can lose it all again. In the longest of days, giving way to the twilight, settled beneath the living room skylight, playing pictures as night settled in from the west, wrapped in confessions that have to suggest I'm home. Don't let this slip away. Yeah, the tears of autumn fade. Yeah, the tears of autumn fade away. Don't let this slip away. Yeah, the tears of autumn fade. Yeah, the tears of autumn fade away to gray. Dawn found me restlessly rushed downstairs, past paintings, skyscapes, and a still life of pairs. The blue hours sinking way through a mirror, unbroken silence through third story window. Baby, home. Home, home. Don't let this slip away. Yeah, the tears of autumn fade. Yeah, the tears of autumn fade away. Don't let this slip away. Yeah, the tears of autumn fade. Yeah, the tears of autumn fade away. To cry. To cry.
Yeah, man, that's a good one too.
Thank you.
You said you're recording that one?
Yeah, it's all done. It's I mixed and mastered it, recorded it all here at my home studio, and I'm gonna put it on my solo page when I get around to it.
Yeah, I'm like always like in awe of people who can like record and mix and master themselves. Like I have had like aspirations of doing that, and
Well, you don't need to. Your music sounds so good. I mean, it's so highly produced and in the best kind of way. So don't change what you're doing. We did that for years and years, and we couldn't get anyone to capture what we wanted.
yeah,
So it became a necessity. And I'm only a decent mixing engineer. Mike is the drummer in Wylder is great. So that's a blessing to have him around and not have to pay him either.
yeah, yeah. You said everyone's bringing something, right?
Yeah, and that's his main. I mean, he has lots of gifts, but that's his main one, in my mind. Just a writerly ear. He's not a writer himself necessarily, but he has an ear for it. And I think it's like it just comes down to mixing, and that's like its own beast, as you can attest to. Yeah.
So it's telling us we have 1 minute and 7 seconds left. So why don't we do a quick sign off, and then that's going to be the end. But this has been super fun. Like, thanks for doing
Thank you for inviting me. This was really fun.
Yeah, maybe let's do it again. Let's plan to do it again. So everyone who's watching, my name's Travis. I release music under the Satellite station. There's a new song out today, so go check it out. And Will, go ahead and do your sign off, and then
Sure. Yeah, new Wylder
this
tune
again.
today. Kings of Summer out today. Check it out on Spotify, wherever you get your music. Should be everywhere. And then my solo page too. I've got a few songs that I've released already, and I'm going to continue to do more covers and originals. So yeah, and please, if Wylder fans are on, follow the Satellite station and give Travis a follow, and really appreciate him having me on today.
And vice versa. Check out Wylder. Check out the solo project. This was awesome.
Will McCarry is my name.